O genki desu ka?
Hello, welcome to the channel. Today's video is about tips for learning Japanese language.
We love Japanese language and it's a very rewarding language for learning. And also, once you start understanding it, especially because of Japan, because Japan itself is so interesting. We started learning Japanese last year. We are still in continuation of learning it. So, this video is going to be tips for you to learn Japanese, how to start it, how to maintain it
From a point of view of a beginner. So tip number 1 is to practice your scripts, which is hiragana, katakana and kanji. You need to go step by step. Don't rush into directly learning kanji. You can start off with learning hiragana. That is what we did. So if you are starting with it, this would be great. You can go step by step by learning small words like kao, which means face, kuki, which is air.
So one struggle that we face while learning Japanese, or especially the scripts, is it was easy to learn hiragana and katakana, but when it comes to kanji, we struggled like everyone else. But we found a solution, that is the MochiMochi app, and that is also the sponsor of today's video for this part. So thank you so much, MochiMochi app, for sponsoring this video.
And here is how you can use it too. So about the MochiMochi app, the number one thing as soon as you open the app is that the interface of the app and the whole graphic is super cute. So that is like the plus point that you have. And the way that it's formatted is you have flashcards of vocabulary. So it's given in kanji, and if you flip it, you have the translation in English as well. And another positive thing is that you can also have the audio feature. So you can click on the sound and you will even get to listen to the word.
This is the app, and let's start using it. When you go to vocabulary, there are lists of mochi courses that they have themselves offered. This is something that I really like, because when you have a target and a content, you know exactly where you're going. So what do you want to know?
So there is N5 kanji vocabulary, there is basic kanji. So I think we go with basic kanji. So
Yeah.
the thing that they've mentioned is the target that it consists of, what the target is and what the content is. So in the basic conversation, the target is memorizing the basic phrases and the content is your daily conversation vocab. So you have an idea before getting in what is going to come.
It's really good for JLPT as well, because you actually learn 805 kanji and vocab. It's great.
Nihong, which is Japan.
Japan. Now you
Have to choose the
choose
correct
the
one.
word.
Ooh. This is the top one is in kanji and the
You have
below
to
one
choose
is in
with
hiragana.
the hiragana.
So now you can also like translate it and get the English translation, and it's also mentioned in hiragana and in kanji. So you get both the scripts.
Yes.
Hi. Hi is yes. Yeah.
That is no. You already know. It's also fun to use and it's super cute. So that's how you actually use the MochiMochi app. It's super cute, but you also learn a lot of vocab phrases, and you know like what's the difference between hiragana and kanji, and you have like a supporting script with it. It's not all together kanji, and of course there is the English translation.
So another part comes when you are learning a language, which is a technique of spaced repetition. It basically means that whatever language, whatever vocabulary you have learned before, and obviously you keep practicing, you need to go back to the words that you have learned in time period, and that is the spaced repetition format. So you go and learn the vocabulary which you have previously learned and be in touch with it. So generally what happens is what you learned before, it's quite possible to forget it. That's how the brain functions. You kind of forget things. But this feature of spaced repetition is also there in the MochiMochi app. The feature that they have is called golden time, which is like a reminder that you get. You can set the reminder of the time that you want, or 15 minutes or more than that. And this is the reminder you get of the vocabulary that you have already studied, so you keep in touch with it and you don't forget that vocabulary. So this is one really nice feature. So if you are on the go, you are just waiting for something, you can just quickly have that reminder and get your practice done, and so that you can move to the next part of your vocab.
The next feature is to get this notification of golden time when you learn a lot of words and you don't know which one is the easier or the hard. So the app itself divides it into different levels from level 1 to level 5, and then you can memorize it accordingly. So your vocab will be divided from just learn to long term memory, which is very important because, as you know, we are learning it since 1 year, and sometimes you get missed out on what you had learned and what you are learning. So this app will help you out in that.
It keeps a record of what you are learning and accordingly will suggest you the new words.
Tip number 3, trying Japanese restaurants and cuisine. One of our favorite way to practice Japanese language as Japanese cuisine is amazing. When you do not live in the native country, this is how you practice it, by noticing the cuisines, by actually trying it, because you can learn a little bit from the menu as well, and also practice it what you had learned before and say it in a restaurant. That's one of the way that you can practice Japanese language.
And this is one of the way where you can experience the culture of that country, and it will take you a long way in learning the language as well.
Tip number 4, keep a set target or goal in the language. Just like the MochiMochi app, there was a certain target given of what vocab you are learning and where you're going, what all you will complete. You need to have your own personal target as well. Like, for example, you want to learn just for travel, or you want to learn for JLPT exams. So accordingly, you have that headspace clear, and then you can start your journey. So always keep a target of why exactly you want to learn.
And the last tip is to read Japanese comics, which is called manga. Now, this is easily available in your local library and also the cafe libraries that you have. It's a set theme of books that you get, the comic books that you get, and the language is presented really well in these. So this is one way to be in touch with the language apart from the level learning and everything. And you also get the cultural knowledge as well when you go through these comics. So that is the way you can keep in touch with the language, and that's our last tip in learning Japanese.
This is a tip like I like better than watching movies.
Yeah,
That is also another thing, but what I've seen is when you read more, that's how you learn the language more rather than watching movies, because we are very, like, now we have the option of switching the subtitles and switching the audio, and we are tend to do that because we are engaged in the movie. But you cannot do that in the book. So
and you actually have to read it everything by yourself. When watching a movie or something, you can easily skip the words and the sentences.
So that was it. These were our top tips for learning Japanese as a beginner or even as an intermediate student. Let us know what you think about it and if you find any of these tips helpful.
Arigato.
Thank you for watching. Bye.